The importance of alumni. There are some of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar's younger children that are currently residing at the large mansion with their parents. One of them is Josie, who is the youngest of their children. At the moment, she is 15 years old, and it is really just a question of time before she reaches the age of early adulthood itself. However, a number of fans were taken aback by Josie's most recent appearance, in which she appeared to have matured. To view the photograph, continue reading. What happened to Josie Duggar? Counting on, what about her? Ever since she was born, Josie has struggled with a variety of health issues. Due to the fact that she was born a micropreemie, she is prone to experiencing health problems. There is a possibility that she will experience difficulties such as blindness, deafness, or possibly cerebral palsy. In addition, viewers have witnessed Josie experiencing seizures while the show was in progress. For the sake of her youngest kid, Michelle has prayed an innumerable number of times and made additional efforts. Following the delivery of Josie, the Counting On actress experienced a miscarriage at a later time. Since then, Michelle and Jim Bob have decided to stop having children together. But despite everything that is going against her, Josie manages to have a good outlook on life. Spending time with her older siblings, including paying them a visit and taking care of her nephews and nieces, is something that she enjoys doing. However, many people were taken aback by Josie's most recent appearance. All grown up and unrecognizable, Josie is now. Several Counting On fans took to social media to express their reactions to a photo that Katie Duggar had published. Within the Duggar family, there were a few married couples who were present at the wedding of their longtime friends, Elijah and Olivia, which took place in Hawaii. However, many people were taken aback when they saw Josie appearing like an adult. Several people even struggled to recognize her, and they even mentioned that she is beginning to resemble Michelle too much. Jordan, Jennifer, and Johanna, who was carrying one of Jed and Katie's twins, were all present with Josie. Josie was also accompanied by her older teenage sisters. Previous Miracle Josie is beginning to take on the characteristics of Meech's twin. It's impossible to believe how much she resembles her. Of all the young ladies, Josie was the first person I recognized, I said. The same goes for me. She has matured quite a bit. Because of this, her hair is not pulled back into a tight ponytail like it used to be in the past. Josie is not even remotely similar to her sisters in any way. Both Jenny and I don't believe she does either. Regarding Josie Duggar's previous appearances, we can count on. It wasn't the first time that Josie Duggar stunned her followers with an unexpected appearance. She did it numerous times. Many fans were taken aback when the former cast member of Counting On made an appearance alongside Michelle and her sisters on the occasion of their All-Sister Day in December of 2024. Some people claim that Josie has grown a significant amount of height in comparison to the images she has taken in the past. As of now, Michelle has not provided any new information regarding her youngest daughter. In addition, a great number of fans are concerned about whether or not Josie is still homeschooling, particularly in light of the fact that her early birth caused her to have a persistent problem with learning. Some individuals are also concerned that Josie might end up residing with her parents for the rest of her life. There are also rumors that Josie will succeed her older sister, Jana, as the head of the family's caretaking duties. This is a possibility that has been brought up. If you are looking for additional information regarding the Duggar family, you should return to Bombshell 25 for all of your updates. A journey from premature baby to young woman. Josie Duggar, born the 19th and youngest child to Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar, has had her life documented on national television from the very beginning. Her birth, which was filled with complications and challenges due to her premature arrival, became a focal point of the Duggar family's reality television series 19 Kids and Counting. Viewers watched as this tiny, fragile infant grew into a spirited young girl, forever under the spotlight as part of a family committed to traditional values and practices. But as time passed, something intriguing began to happen. Josie, the baby who had once been cradled in her mother's arms, began to evolve into a young woman whose appearance, demeanor, and even her role within the Duggar household seemed to echo her mother in striking ways. Though Josie's path was inevitably her own, the idea of her being a mini Michelle became a popular narrative among fans and media alike. This article delves into the transformation of Josie Duggar, from a tiny, sickly child to an unrecognizable grown-up, exploring her physical changes, her relationship with her mother Michelle, and the ways in which she might carve her own identity while still navigating the shadows of her family's legacy. Josie Duggar's early years. A fragile beginning. Josie Duggar's life began on a precarious note. Born prematurely at just 25 weeks in December 1997, Josie's survival was uncertain. As the youngest member of the Duggar family, she was thrust into the spotlight from day one, with her health struggles being chronicled on television and documented by the family in various media outlets. Michelle Duggar, known for her strong maternal instincts and unwavering faith, was portrayed as a devoted mother determined to help her baby survive. The Duggar family, who had already experienced the births of 18 children, rallied around Josie as she struggled through the early weeks of her life in the NICU. As Josie grew, so too did her presence on the family's reality show. She was a central figure in the show's narrative, as her survival became a symbol of hope, resilience, and the power of prayer within the Duggar household. The young girl, often seen with her mother Michelle by her side, was undeniably adorable. Viewers could see glimpses of the future mini Michelle as Josie mirrored her mother's kind nature, her sweet personality, and even her love for caring for her younger siblings. But despite her many similarities to Michelle, Josie's early years were also a constant reminder of her vulnerability. The image of the fragile, sickly baby girl was embedded in the minds of fans, making her eventual transformation into a confident young woman all the more remarkable. The Duggars' influence. Michelle as the core. The Duggar family is a unique unit within the American public sphere. Their lifestyle is rooted in strict religious beliefs, and they emphasize traditional gender roles, particularly for women. Michelle Duggar, as the matriarch of the family, has been an iconic figure not only for her large family but also for her approach to homemaking, nurturing, and submitting to her husband's leadership in the household. As the youngest of the Duggar children, Josie's role within the family was often less prominent compared to her older siblings, but as she grew, so did her responsibilities. Whether it was helping care for her younger siblings, contributing to family meals, or assisting with homeschooling, Josie quickly became accustomed to the traditional roles that her mother had cultivated in the family dynamic. For much of Josie's early life, Michelle was her guiding force. Their mother-daughter bond seemed inseparable, with Josie often mirroring Michelle's approach to life. Josie's love for homemaking, the way she would interact with her siblings, and her faith-based values all seemed to reflect Michelle's teachings, even from a very young age. Some viewers, enamored by Michelle's quiet strength, began to see Josie as the mini Michelle, the younger version of the woman who had defined the Duggar family's public image. The transformation. A grown-up Josie emerges. As the years passed, Josie Duggar began to grow into her own. The once fragile and sickly baby was now maturing into a young adult, and with that came noticeable changes, both physically and mentally. For a child whose every milestone had been scrutinized by the public, Josie's transition into adulthood sparked intense interest. Physical transformation. Josie's appearance, much like the rest of the Duggar children, remained modest and conservative throughout her childhood. However, as she entered her teenage years, Josie began to blossom into a striking young woman. While her youthful face still retained some traces of Michelle's features, it was clear that Josie was developing her own distinct look. Her hair, once kept in simple, traditional styles like her mother's, gradually evolved. She experimented with different hairstyles and clothing that veered away from the family's standard modest dress code, signaling a shift in how she wanted to present herself to the world. Matured personality. Josie also began to come into her own as a person. She wasn't simply the child standing by Michelle's side. She was now a teenager, navigating the challenges of adolescence while still holding on to the values she had been raised with. While Michelle's influence remained strong in Josie's life, it was clear that Josie was forming her own identity, with her own opinions and perspectives. Josie's maturity was further highlighted by her growing role within the family. As one of the older Duggar children, she began to take on more responsibility, stepping in to help manage the household and assist with her younger siblings. However, it was her ability to step out of the shadows of her mother's image that became most evident during this time. Josie wasn't just Michelle's daughter. She was a young woman with dreams and aspirations that went beyond the traditional paths laid out for her. Mini Michelle, the label that stuck. Despite Josie's evolution as an individual, the Mini Michelle label continued to persist, especially from fans who had followed her life since birth. Michelle's legacy as a devoted mother and wife was firmly established, and it was only natural for viewers to assume that Josie would follow in those same footsteps. A continuing influence. As Josie navigated her growing independence, it was impossible to deny the lingering influence of Michelle on her life. Josie's unwavering faith, strong family values, and commitment to homemaking were all traits she seemed to inherit from her mother. There was no denying that Josie in many ways embodied Michelle's approach to life, even as she carved her own path in the world. Challenging the label. However, it's also possible that Josie might feel conflicted about being labeled as Mini Michelle. While she undoubtedly respects her mother and the values Michelle has instilled in her, Josie might seek to break free from being constantly compared to her. This desire for independence could manifest in different ways, whether through education, career choices, or forming relationships that differ from the traditional expectations of the Duggar family. What's next for Josie Duggar? As Josie Duggar enters adulthood, it's natural to wonder what her future holds. Will she continue to follow in her mother's footsteps, embracing a life centered around family, faith, and homemaking? Or will she forge a new path that reflects her own dreams and goals? Romantic life. Many fans have speculated about Josie's future romantic life. Will she marry young, as is expected in the Duggar family, or will she take her time to explore different relationships? The question of whether Josie will embrace the same path as Michelle remains a topic of intrigue for many. Career choices. Josie's career trajectory is another area of speculation. While many Duggar women have focused on homemaking and raising children, could Josie choose a different path, perhaps pursuing higher education or a professional career? The evolving nature of Josie's public persona suggests that she may be more inclined to explore options outside the family's traditional roles. Family life. Josie's own decisions regarding marriage and children will likely define her future. While the Duggar family is known for having large families, it's possible that Josie might want something smaller or might choose to remain single, reflecting a shift in the family's generational values. An evolving identity. Josie Duggar's transformation from a fragile, premature infant to a young woman who is now navigating adulthood has been a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. While she may still share many similarities with her mother, Michelle, it is clear that Josie's identity is her own. Whether she follows in Michelle's footsteps or chooses a completely different path, Josie's future is hers to create, and it will be fascinating to watch how her story unfolds as she continues to grow and evolve beyond the label of Mini Michelle.